Hello and welcome back to Women's Football Talk, the YouTube channel that brings you all the latest news and stories from around the world of women's football. And we've had a busy week in terms of announcements, potential transfer stories, and obviously we've got a weekend worth of fixtures to look ahead to. So let's crack right into it. So this weekend sees the Women's FA Cup final here in England between Manchester United and Chelsea. So let's have a look into this game a bit more. So it's Manchester United's first major trophy that they could win in their career. Obviously they've only been around for 4 or 5 years now, and they won the Women's Championship in their first season and have been really going well this season in the WSL, sitting atop of it by 1 point at the minute after some midweek action, and with only a couple of games left they're obviously in the driving seat as it stands because of obviously having the most points. And yeah, fantastic run for Mark Skinner's side in the FA Cup, beating Sunderland, Durham, Lewis and Brighton and Hove Albion on their way to this season's final. Not been an easy game last time out for Manchester United, having to fight off Brighton and Hove Albion after going a goal down. Leo Goulton, Alessia Russo and Rachel Williams were the goal scorers for Mark Skinner's side in that one, as they went on to win by 3-2. So United definitely know how to take a game and either dominate it like they have done against Lewis, Sunderland and Durham, or have the hard fought game against Brighton and Hove Albion. So it's going to be a tough challenge for Manchester United. They obviously know it's going to be no walkabout for Chelsea because Chelsea are such a top side and obviously have the history of being a dominant side in the FA Cup. Speaking on Chelsea, their FA Cup run has seen them beat the likes of Liverpool, Arsenal, Reading and Aston Villa, so they've had a harder run to the final than Manchester United, but again it's not something that Emma Hayes' side will be too worried about because of the quality that they have and their ability to dominate sides regardless of their opposition and when they face them. So Sunday is the final between these two, 2:30. Chelsea obviously have the better record when facing Manchester United. Man United only been able to draw once in their past 5 meetings. Chelsea have won the other 6, so it's very Chelsea dominant, and with the way they're playing at the minute I think a lot of people probably have Chelsea as favourites, especially after what they did in midweek where they managed to score 6 goals against Leicester, so that's like 13 goals in their last 2 WSL games. So it's going to be a very tough battle for Manchester United to try and stop Chelsea's attack. But obviously Manchester United know what they're capable of, and they obviously won't put themselves under too much cop, and they will be hoping that they can show why they are one of the big teams to be reckoned with now in the European leagues. Right, so that is the FA Cup final. There's no WSL this weekend due to the FA Cup taking precedent. So before we have a look on the European games, let's have a look at some of the news that's come through this week. Obviously there's been the story about Magdalena Eriksson and Pernilla Harder's future. If you haven't seen that video on our channel, go check it out. It's obviously, I'll go into a lot more detail as there was a story came out earlier on this week regarding their futures and how it's likely to be away from Chelsea. Arsenal announced earlier on in the week that they will be hosting 5 WSL games at the Emirates Stadium from next season, so that's nearly half of the team's home games will be played there. They also announced that Leah Volti has signed a new deal. The Swiss international's contract was coming to an end this summer, however contract terms haven't been announced by the club, but it's probably likely a 2-year deal for Leah Volti. And some unfortunate news for Brighton and Hove Albion and Chelsea is that youngster Georgia Fox, who was on loan at Brighton, has suffered an ACL injury and will miss obviously the rest of this season, and will go back to Chelsea to do her rehab. So wishing Georgia all the best in her recovery there. So let's have a look at the games that are happening across the European leagues this weekend. So over in France, again it's also a cup final with the Coupe de France Feminine between Lyon and Paris Saint-Germain taking place on Saturday at lunchtime at 3 o'clock. Obviously PSG dropping points last week in the Paris derby obviously puts Lyon in good stead heading into the final couple of weeks of the league season, and obviously it's going to be a very close battle between the two sides when it comes to this game tomorrow, so I'm very much looking forward to that. Over in Spain this week, now Barcelona has their 62 win streak came to an end after drawing 1-1 with Sevilla. Obviously they're still undefeated in the league and haven't lost since losing to Atletico Madrid back in June 2021, so they are still undefeated in that sense, but their win streak of 62 has come to an end. The games this weekend: Atletico Madrid, they travel to Villarreal, Barcelona hosts Athletic Club Bilbao, and a lot of the games taking place tomorrow. And then on Sunday you have second versus third as Real Madrid take on Levante. Obviously both of those sides already securing Champions League football for next season. Over in Germany, and there's one game tonight between Bayern Munich and Hoffenheim, so that should be a very close game, as obviously Hoffenheim are trying to do their best to finish as high up in the table and best of the rest behind themselves and Bayern and Wolfsburg. Elsewhere, you got Turbine Potsdam taking on Bayer Leverkusen tomorrow, with the rest of the games taking place on Sunday, including Wolfsburg's visit to Eintracht Frankfurt. And finally, a couple of games over in Italy. You got Pomigliano taking on Sassuolo, Inter Milan taking on Fiorentina, AC Milan taking on AS Roma, and finally Parma taking on Como this Sunday. So they are the weekend's games over in the Italian league, and obviously the Dutch league has now finished for the season, so it's just the final of the cup to come in a couple of weeks' time. Right, in the meantime, make sure you like and subscribe and turn on the post notification bell so you never miss a video of ours, and that you're following us on Twitter and Instagram for all the latest news from around the world of women's football, whether it be breaking news regarding players' futures, contracts. We'll have it all covered on our social media pages, so make sure you go follow them and that you are subscribed to this channel with the post notification bell turned on. In the meantime, we'll see you soon.